Hi guys, Scott Sullivan here with Bam Bam Martial Arts. I just want to go over this kids enrollment folder that we have here. This is really important for the parents and for the kids to get the most out of our martial arts program. So when you get this folder, if you haven't picked one up yet, we have them in the office, so grab a copy of this. And the first thing you want to do is write your kid's name right here. This is going to be important so that we can obviously identify the different folders when the kids bring them in. Now, opening it up, I'm just going to kind of just hold this up in front of the camera. When you open it up, we've got some pages over here and then some separated ones here. I'm going to explain that in a second. But the first thing I would like for you to do is, again, write your child's name here on the inside. And I want to talk about this because I want to make sure all parents understand that just like if someone went to college for, say, a semester or two and dropped out, they didn't get the full benefit of college, right? They didn't get all the way. They didn't go to the degree and get their BA or their BS or whatever. And the same thing is true with martial arts. If you do martial arts for a month or for 6 months and then quit, you don't get the full benefit of martial arts. You didn't get all the way. To get the full benefit of martial arts training, to get all the fitness and the self-defense and the respect, discipline, all that stuff, you have to develop the habit. It takes time. And so you have to go all the way to our degree in martial arts, which is the black belt. So I'm going to talk more about that. It's always been kind of implicit before in our program, but in this folder, I'm going to make that explicit and tell you how to get the most out of the program when we're talking about in regards to going all the way to black belt. So in jiu-jitsu, to get to that black belt level of training, it takes about 4 years. So what I would like you to do is take the month. So right now, this month is March of 2018, and you're going to just cast out 4 years in the future. I want you to kind of have this date as at least a reference point in your mind to think about. So you're going to write, so in this case, I would write March 2022, okay? So write that in there for your child. That would be the intermediate level of our black belt training, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. Now, I want you to look at these sheets over here that are kind of loose. These things are really important. We have a character development program that we have implemented that's very effective. When the kids go out and do good deeds, whether at home or at school, we give them a blue stripe on their martial arts belt. We award them publicly in front of the class. And then every 2 months, when we have our graduation and our testing cycle, we give trophies and medals to the kids who have the most merit stripes. So just like we're building up the child physically with the self-defense skills and stuff like that, we're also building up their character as well. So it's a real holistic sort of approach when it comes to building a child up. And we use these as tools, and I think you parents are going to really like these because these are going to really help your job a lot at home too. The first one is the foundational one. These are the 7 magic words of respect. This is where we're teaching kids to say yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir, please, thank you, you're welcome, that kind of thing. And when they do that, you can put it in here, okay, and then you can sign off on it here. Bring this page in with you, and then we will award your child with a merit stripe. Bring them up in front of the class, clap and everything. And this is really helpful for both of us because we're trying to build the child up, and it's going to help you too because it's going to teach your child respect for you, respect for teachers, etc. And we do that by building habits. And like any habit, it takes time. It takes repeated actions over and over again. And to get that out of a child, we have to use motivation. So that's what we're trying to do here. So this is a motivational tool for you as a parent to get your child to be more respectful at home and at school. So use this, and this will help a lot. And we have more of the similar thing. This is a self-discipline sheet. Really, really important. I hear all the time that parents bring their child to us to learn self-discipline. That's what this is about. This is a worksheet to help them do that. And what this is that when they do things around the house or at school without having to be told, that's the kicker, without having to be told, they get it. You can put it in here, initial it, sign off on it, bring it in with your folder, and we will again award them publicly to encourage those actions and to build that habit as well. Same thing with here. You know, I hear all the time about parents complaining that their child spends too much time on digital devices, computers, tablets, whatever. Read books, good old-fashioned books. So what this is a book club card. The more they read a certain amount of minutes, and they get rewarded here. You sign off on it, and we will award them when they come into the school to encourage good old-fashioned reading. So that's what that is. And then we have this healthy eating card. Big deal here, right? Healthy eating, because you know, we don't want our kids to eat too much junk food. So you can put here, you know, I chose apples instead of potato chips, whatever. Keep doing that. Build those good eating habits, and we will, again, award them publicly in the school to help build that habit. And last but not least, one of the most important ones, the weekly job list, right? They do things at home, around the house. Brush their teeth, clean their room, right? Put it in here. We will award them with merit stripes when they come in. And like I said, the kids with the most merit stripes at the end of every 2-month testing cycle will get, you know, the first place will get a trophy, second place medals, and so on. So we're trying to build these important character habits, and that's what these pages are for in here. So keep these in here in your folder, so when your child brings these in, they're not loose and kind of falling out and getting lost, all right? So let me just kind of hit some of the key highlights of this folder real quick for you. Again, this is really important for you and your child to get the most out of your training, so I want to make sure that you understand all this. The first page in here is obviously just a simple little questionnaire, and if you ever have anyone you want to refer to us and tell them about us, just put their name and stuff in here, and then we'll have that when your child brings that in. The next page is talks about just some of our rules at the school. This is important too. We're talking about proper behavior in the school. This is really important as well. Please go over these rules with your child. We talk about them a lot in class too, but it really does help to kind of sit down and go over the school rules. And next page, classroom protocol. Okay, how to behave during class. Again, we talk about this in school, but it would be very helpful for you at least once to kind of go over this list with your child and make sure they understand it. And for you yourself as a parent, it says here at the bottom that we have to build habits. That means you have to show up. To make progress in martial arts, you have to come at least twice per week. Okay, once is not enough, and you can burn your child out if you come more than that. So twice a week is kind of the sweet spot. Okay, so if you ever miss a class, make sure you contact us so you can make it up, because we do we keep attendance. And that's how the progress is based when we talk about, you know, getting more belts and stuff. So do make up missed classes. This next page here talks about parents as coaches. Just some tips that you can follow to help your child get the most out of our martial arts program. The next page is the character development description of our program. I've kind of talked about that already. This will give you a little bit more information about that. Again, we take it very seriously. And I would like for you to read that, if you would, to help your child get the most out of the character development portion of our program. This next page talks about the 5 rules of engagement for kids. Really, really important, you know, because not only are we teaching the kids physical self-defense skills, how to handle themselves physically, but what this tells them is when to use those skills. When is it appropriate to go physical? When should I not go physical? You see, we don't want to promote fights. The first rule of engagement is to avoid the fight at all, if at all possible, you see. So we really are just promoting self-defense and teaching kids not to go out and bully others, and when it's okay to use their physical skills, and how to handle themselves verbally too. Because a lot of bullying and stuff like that isn't physical, it's verbal. So that talks about that. The next page is the black belt attitude skills for success. Just skills people need for success in martial arts and really life too, right? So important things like visualization, positive self-talk. Please take a look at this and go over this with your child. We're going to be talking a lot about this later on, especially when we get into our black belt programs, but I just wanted you to kind of get that going right now, okay? Requirements for belt promotion. This is just a sample. When it comes time for the belt promotions, we're going to send one of these home with your child to let you know in writing what they need to do to make progress to the next belt. And again, those character development traits and habits will be included. So keep up on those sheets, the magic rules of respect and magic words of respect and the discipline and stuff like that. Those sheets we send home, that's going to be critical for moving forward into the next belt and so on. And this sheet here will tell you about that. The next series of pages here talks just some question and answers that people have about our black belt training program. You know, I said that to get the most out of the martial arts is to go all the way, to go to black belt. You know, a black belt is a white belt that never quit, right? And to get the full benefit out of the martial arts training, you have to complete the program. Okay, so this has some Q&A on that. You know, right now, if you've just signed up, you are on our basic program. It's a 12-month long program, learning basic self-defense skills and so on. And what that's designed to do is to see if your child qualifies for black belt training later on, and if they qualify for this program. And this section here will give you some answers on questions that people commonly have about that. It goes on for just a few pages there. And then related to that, after that is the black belt goal setting worksheet. If your child is accepted for the black belt training, and if they want to set black belt as a goal and really get the most out of the martial arts and what our Jiu-Jitsu Academy has to offer, they'll be filling out one of these goal setting sheets. And this is a sample for you to look at. And when it comes time to do that, we'll of course give you the real version of that. This next page is very important. I would like for you to take a look at this. It looks like this. It's got the rectangles down the side of the page like that. This describes the various programs that we offer. And if you've just signed up, you're on our basic program. That's this white rectangle, vertical rectangle right here. This is our basic program that focuses on the basic self-defense skills and the basic character development that we teach the kids. Again, if your child wants to go on and set black belt as a goal, that's where they would get into these other black belt programs. So these other programs, as they kind of progress to the right here, include everything to the left and then this much more. You can see how that works. And so if they decide to go to black belt, obviously they would get the rest of all the physical martial arts skills that they would learn. We've got more in terms of what we call verbal jiu-jitsu. You can look at those things here. But also we want to, again, really put that character development on steroids. So we have what we call a leadership program, and that's this big thing over here that teaches just a ton of critical life skills that everybody needs to know that, quite frankly, are not taught in schools. So you can take a look at some of these things here. It's really, really important. We teach kids about public speaking, how to think logically and critically, team building skills, leadership skills, developing self-esteem, the great success principles in life. Really super important things that everybody needs to know to be successful in life is going to be taught in our black belt leadership program. So black belt in martial arts and just black belt overall in life as well. And again, when it comes time to make that decision, you can, and your child can set that black belt as a goal if they qualify. The last page here I want to talk about, right after that, is the basic jiu-jitsu techniques. These are what your child will be learning during that basic program. These are the 36 most important jiu-jitsu moves there are. We teach those up front because they're the most effective in real life situations. So we want to make sure all the kids know these very well. And this is just an ongoing curriculum. So it'll just, every class is going to teach one or two of these. And once we get to the end, there are 36 moves. It just resets. So you may have come in, somewhere around the middle, and it just progresses down and then recycles over. And the good thing about this is that this list can be used as kind of a checklist. As your child, goes on and learns the Americana arm lock, you can kind of check that off and kind of, just sort of record your progress that way. And then when it comes time for them to move on to the advanced training in jiu-jitsu, they have to test out. They got to test out on these 36 moves. So this list here is really important. So that's basically it. That's what this enrollment folder is for. It's designed to help you understand, better what we're trying to do and how we're trying to build the kids up. So I hope you find it really helpful.